The new GTA Online weekly update is finally really good, and we have several excellent nightclub business bonuses as well as nightclub property discounts to enjoy. And I just released my money guide for this week's offerings on the channel yesterday if you want to check it out, but today on the show I have another episode of my free vehicles guide for you. Once again, we have some pretty solid vehicles here that you can jump right into game for and potentially unlock both of them today. We have a really nice supercar based off of a famous Lamborghini, as well as a really nice and classic pickup truck in the game, but don't be deceived by its appearance here. It may look a little bit sleepy and simple, but it is an absolute monster off-road. We're going to be checking out both of these today. I'll be showcasing to you how you can unlock them, the customization options they have, because I think there's a lot of customization for both, as well as, of course, we'll be testing out their performance on the track to see if they're actually worth their salt or not. So thank you so much for supporting this series so far. I'm absolutely loving making these kinds of videos, and of course, if you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button to let me know. The first free vehicle for this week is, of course, the Diamond Casino and Resort Podium vehicle, which is the Declasse Walton L35. Now, the normal retail value is $1,670,000. It is available through Southern San Andreas Super Autos on that website, and it was released as part of the San Andreas Mercenaries update. This vehicle is primarily based on the 1991 to 1993 Chevrolet S10 truck, but you also got some Toyota Helix inspiration and elements in the rear of this truck. If you check it out, the Walton L35 offers a super exhilarating driving experience, in my opinion. It's super suitable for both on-road as well as off-road driving, so that's great that you could drive it on like both conditions right there. It shines in its ability to tackle steep terrains. It's a joy on those off-roading adventures that you could take up in the mountains and out in the desert and things like that. Despite this one not having the absolute highest ground clearance, it does have a really lifted suspension, and I would say that even if it's not among the absolutely best top-tier off-roaders, it remains a super robust choice for casual players out there, or even someone like myself who still money grinds and wants a fun truck. However, the large tires, obviously, they're big, they're going to be vulnerable to gunfire, so you need to put bulletproof tires on there if you want to take it on missions or various in-game activities. The one notable drawback with this truck is its tendency to flip when driven too fast off-road. Obviously, that sounds like it would be more of a common trait for other trucks in the game, but specifically with this one, it's a taller stature for a truck, and it has a shorter wheelbase, so any driver of it, you have to be cautious during high-speed maneuvers. You don't want to flip it, that's a buzzkill. But with that out of the way, we have to test this thing out, so let's do it. Here is the finished product, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Declasse Walton L35, and I must say, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the matte paint job on here. I wanted to go with matte, and I was kind of experimenting between green, forest green, which I think is what I have on here, and then olive drab, or just like olive green. Normal green and olive green look better in Los Santos Customs while I was customizing it, but this one looks better on the outside, like actually just driving around, so I think I want to rock with this. I also don't know with the fender flares here and those like overextended wheel arches if I wanted to go with black to fit the front bumper and the wheels, or if I wanted to keep it in the same green. I ended up changing my mind. I switched from the green to the black, but maybe I may go back to the green. I tried to get close to a beige interior as well. I think this is just straw brown, and I figured, you know, kind of complement the green a little bit. So today what we're going to try and do, because this isn't going to be able to keep up or even be comparable to the performance of the next car we're about to talk about, so I'm going to do part of this on the track so you can see just like general performance, and then we'll also do like an off-road portion of this, and I think that'll be really fun because that's what this truck is meant for in this game. So for the standard track portion, I'm going to take it on my usual route, which is going all the way down this road. I make this right, come up here, and then normally I'd go all the way around and then come back, but I'm just going to stop it right here when I would normally make that left. So I'm not sure exactly the time it should be. I'm not worried about that. I just want to showcase to you guys, you know, if you guys are genuinely driving this vehicle around the city because, you know, you're going on money grinding activities and you're just playing GTA Online for all the content that's there and you're not just messing around with friends and off-roading and stuff, what is the on-road performance of the Declasse Walton L35 actually going to be like? I must say the brakes are very spongy, the acceleration isn't the best. I have, you know, max engine upgrades, transmission, turbo, all that type of stuff. The exhaust is kind of nice. Like I was saying, the brakes are a little bit spongy. They're not fantastic. You have to anticipate that. But the traction on the road is exceptional, honestly. For this type of thing, I thought it would kind of have oversteer, or the rear would just kick out a lot because it's going to be so light in the back. But honestly, it's pretty stable. It feels really good to drive. You could see, I mean, I'm just holding pedal to the metal here, and we're not spinning out. So the on-road traction, acceleration, all that, just from that brief little test, is quite nice. Some of my favorite things here, when we jump into the off-road portion, you're going to see where this truck really shines. I cannot wait. So we're gonna head out over to the mountains and test this thing out. All right, we are here in the mountains. We are near Mount Chiliad. That's Mount Chiliad right there. I'm gonna go up this hill and I'm gonna do, or like perform off-road tests and just experiment off-road with this truck in 2 different ways. First, we'll drive normally, like full send, full acceleration, full gas, all that, just so you can see like how crazy you can get with this truck. And then we're gonna go a little bit slower and you could see all the axle articulation and, you know, the suspension travel and all that, because this thing looks absolutely amazing. One of the other things I wanted to point out was, unfortunately, because I had the black bumper, that's the secondary color, I wanted to match the wheels with that and maybe the fender flares that you could see, even though I may change back to the olive drab. One of the unfortunate things is the suspension counts as a secondary color, so if you want your bumper to be a different color to the primary color of your, you know, normal truck itself, you could see, you know, the top heaviness I was talking about. We just flipped over right there. I couldn't even make the turn. We just flipped right over. Oh man, this is crazy. Maybe I won't do a full send test. Maybe we'll just drive this so you can see how cool this thing is. You wouldn't believe how long that actually took getting this car back. I had to, you know, return it to my garage and call it back, and then the mechanic dropped it off so far away. But either way, here we are back with the truck. Check out the suspension travel and all that. So what I was getting at with the suspension before was, unfortunately, it matches the secondary color. So if you go with a black bumper, the suspension isn't going to stick out with nice yellow or red or anything like that. It is just going to have to be, you know, normal secondary color, whatever you have it set to. So what I want to do is head up this trail right here and just pay attention to the wheel articulation, the axles moving. Look how much travel there is in the suspension. There's not a ton of ground clearance with the axle itself. It would be great if you get like portal axles or something like that, but this truck is insanely lifted. And when you go over any sort of rock, especially slowly, you can really see the intimate nature of the suspension working like absolute crazy. It's working overtime, I must say. The suspension on this truck deserves a raise. I'm really happy that Rockstar didn't end up nerfing this in any way or changing it like they did with the Rumpo Custom, because if you remember, the Rumpo Custom used to have amazing suspension. It still has okay suspension, and suspension travel, I should say, but it's like totally neutered compared to how it was before. So I don't want to take too long with this vehicle, but you could just see how beautiful this thing looks when it climbs hills. And even if, you know, you're in a section like this where it's going to have a little bit of trouble maintaining control going up, I'm just trying to floor it up the hill right now. Can we get the grip to accelerate right back up? It looks like we should, but we're gonna overshoot a little bit. Either way, this thing is awesome. If you want to take this, just, you know, this is like the exact type of truck I would want to take if I'm going out, you know, into the forest in Oregon to do like some off-grid camping, you know, on some federal land or something like that. I feel like that would be absolutely sick. I love this thing, man. It's really cool. Next up for free vehicles this week's LS Car Meet Series prize ride is the Pegassi Tempesta. You can buy it for $1,329,000 at Legendary Motorsport. Released as part of the Import-Export DLC update way back at the end of 2016, this car is very heavily influenced from the Lamborghini Huracan, particularly in terms of the scale and size of the car. The Tempesta is a very standout car in the supercars class. It offers a really good balance of features that cater well to both novice drivers as well as competitive racers as well. If you love racing in this game, it's got all-wheel drive, which is a huge plus. The Tempesta has excellent acceleration, a pretty good top speed, I like it, and of course, fantastic cornering capabilities. Any driver of this car is going to be able to easily maximize the performance that a car like this offers, and when compared to other supercars as well, the Tempesta I think really holds its own. I would say especially for the age of the car and especially in the handling department, it can compete very closely with other top handling cars like the RE7B and, may I say, the LM87 as well. Overall, it's a very formidable choice for any race. To prove that claim to you, let's hop on the track and full send this beast. And here is the Pegassi Tempesta, an absolutely amazing DLC vehicle that was added to GTA Online. I must say, what we went with on this car is a Cabernet Red, and then we went with a Saddle Brown Metallic, or sorry, Cabernet Red Metallic, Saddle Brown Pearlescent, and I think it looks pretty nice. I went with the carbon hood just because if I go with the standard black like I did with the roof, you get, you know, the brown yellowish in the sun, and it didn't look as great on the hood. But either way, this is what we went for. Actually, I'm quite happy with this vehicle. The only thing that I really just cannot figure out what to do with is the spoiler. No spoiler, it looks too simple. I think it looks nice, but I wanted to go with like a little bit more of an aggressive looking Lamborghini, and so I wanted to add a spoiler, but the spoiler options are not good in my opinion. This one, is called the Rally spoiler or something like that, or Carbon Rally 1. Then there's a Carbon Rally 2, which overall is a better looking spoiler, but just like this one, it sits up too high, it's like angled, and it looks a little bit over the top, especially because the spoiler mounts are on the front of the spoiler and they're like L-shaped down into the, you know, rear of the car and like the trunk almost. So it just, I went with this one. It looks ridiculous from this side, but from the front like that, I think it looks really nice. And so just look at it from this way, right? Let's head to the track, let's test it out. As usual, we're gonna do our time, so let me bring up my timer right here and we will get started. Just a stopwatch just to see. Of course, for anyone who doesn't know, we want to beat, basically, with a car like this, we want to be sub 245. I want to say 230 to 245 for a sports or supercar is going to be really good. 245 to 3 is like just kind of mediocre. And then 3 minutes plus is going to be very slow, very average, not a very good car. Some cars are just slow. Doesn't mean they're bad looking, things like that. But like, that's kind of the pace we want to set. If we can get around 245, especially less, that would be awesome. I'll be very happy with it. So with that being said, I'm going to hit start and we will take off right here. I must say, I haven't driven this in a while, so I basically just recustomized this. This is me going into the Pegassi Tempesta performance test sort of blind. I mean, I know in general that it's got really good handling and I could review it for you, but I haven't genuinely like driven it hard in GTA 5 Online in quite some time. I'm also just logging into the game basically for the first time today, so I may be a little bit rusty because I have Call of Duty Mind with my controller just because I've been playing a lot of Warzone recently, so it's a little bit different hopping back into a car, but nonetheless, the exhaust sounds great. I wish there was like a little bit more of like a higher pitch to it. It's a little bit low, but that's fine. You know, low growly tone is nice. It's like a, you know, absolute monster or a beast chasing you and he's about to gobble you up, right? I must say, handling obviously is a strong suit. On the track, the acceleration feels good. The top speed, we probably haven't even reached it yet. This is a nice spot to hit the top speed on this car. You could tell it's not the absolute highest in the game, but it still feels really nice, and I'm sure if you're racing, you want better handling anyway, because you'll probably be taking the Pegassi Tempesta on a track very similar to this. This is going to be the true test for the car right here. This slalom area, especially with the traffic, you know, I want to recreate the natural environment of GTA Online. If we created the test track like we were talking about in the last video, then you could have traffic disabled, but I think, you know, we're going to be driving this around the open world. We're going to need to be dodging cars. We're going to need to be, you know, diving in and out of lanes, cutting it up, things like that. So I say we pass that area pretty well. The exhaust pops are awesome. Traction, not just handling, right? Like this thing's got a nice turning radius. I feel like it could be a little bit sharper on the corners. There's sometimes where I feel like I'm overshooting the track a little bit, but traction wise, this thing just stays planted. You don't even hear the wheels and the tires sliding around at all. Like no squealing, which is awesome. Whoa, what the heck, man? He stepped out on me. I was not prepared for him to make that left turn. And this guy, of course, it's the Land Rover doing that. Oh, no, that's really gonna ruin our pace right there. Even if we get like 250 now at this point, I will be happy. That sucked. We're gonna lose like 5 or 10 seconds just from 2 little mishaps right there. That really ruined our pace, you know, needing to speed back up and all that. But so far, this car is awesome, and I like it in this red. I've never really done a Cabernet red on a car before. I've done a lot of garnet red on the wheels, but not on the car itself. So, past 241. We hit 241, and we were probably 5, maybe 10 seconds slow if we're being like really generous there, but maybe more like 5 seconds or something like that. My car is filthy right now, but performance of this thing is awesome. I love this car. So as we wrap up today's video, I will say you should definitely do the prize ride challenge to unlock this Pegassi Tempesta. Definitely continue to spin that wheel and try and unlock the Declasse Walton L35 for free if you can, but in the case of both of these vehicles, their full retail values, yeah, they're over $1 million a piece. This is like 1.6 million, and the Declasse Walton's like 1.1 million or whatever. They're still worth it at full price, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of fun that you can have in both of these cars for different reasons. This is just a sleek supercar, and then of course the Declasse Walton L35 is an awesome off-roading truck. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed or just found the video information helpful. Of course, check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I would love to have you guys join the stream community over on Twitch. We do a lot of GTA Online as well as Red Dead Online live streams several times a week here on that channel. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, amigos.